Mexico for like 4 months during the second semester, right? And that was really hard for me mentally because like I didn't really know if I was still gonna have a spot at, like in this high school when I came back. And I was just like really discouraged. And like there were like a lot of times when I was like living in Mexico where I just felt like really lonely and really like sort of embarrassed for my situation. But I really think what helped me get through it was like my family. Because when I went to Mexico, I went like obviously I had most of my family there from like people I hadn't seen in ages and just like the family that I really missed. I think they always kept me entertained and they made life really fun. So I think that was yeah, that was really helpful.
What about like the other situation with, or do you feel comfortable
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
fine.
that? Okay.
That was my anxiety attacks during freshman year.
Yeah.
That was so hard. I still remember like I would walk into school like shaking and crying. That was yeah, that was really hard. I think my mom helped me the most. She was always there for me. I mean, she was the one that brought me to school and sat with me in the car while I cried. It was like definitely a really hard moment, but she was I think the main person that helped me get through it. Yeah.
If you think back to your hardest day during that time, what would you say to that version of you to like let them know it's gonna be okay?
Ooh. Um, I would probably, yeah, I would be like, because when I started, I really didn't like this high school. I felt really uncomfortable, and now I've really grown to love it. So I think that's what I would say, like, don't be scared. Like, you're gonna grow to love this school so much and the people in it. Um, like, don't worry. Like, it's fine if you're going through a hard time, but like, you will get through it, even if like that's not what you think. And I'm just really happy that I'm here now.
What has you guys' confidence journey been like?
I think wait, like since high school started?
Yeah, since high
Okay.
school.
Yeah. When I started high school, I was honestly not very confident at all. Obviously through my anxiety issues and stuff, like there was a lot of questions in my mind. Like I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I could get through what I was going to, and that was like really detrimental to like my confidence. It definitely didn't help. And so yeah, like during freshman year of high school, like I wasn't really confident in myself. Like looks wise, I didn't like how I looked, and like just everything was pretty bad, like low self esteem. But then as I progressed through high school, like every year I get more and more confident. Like I used to worry a lot about like what people would say about me or like certain people would think about me, but now I mean I care, but I don't really care that much. One of the things that has really helped me is to see that I've kept up my grades. I think I'm like a fairly good student and I've done pretty well at this school. So I think that's just like proving to myself that I can do hard things that I didn't think I could do. And that just really has given me a confidence boost, especially after going through Super Lab and AP Chem and stuff. I think, yeah, that has really helped my confidence.
I think there's like two parts of me that I lack confidence in. So obviously like when I walked in the failing grade, so I lacked a lot of confidence in my academic abilities, and then I think like just like in who I am or like looks wise, personality wise, I do think that like being in a long-term relationship has helped because like before I think that it's easy to like view like how do other people view me or like how do you guys view me, like we're teenage girls, we're gonna think stuff like that, but I think that like realizing that like somebody can appreciate me for my looks, for my personality, for my confidence, and just like feeling secure in that has helped me feel more secure like within myself as well, just like seeing how somebody else can feel that way.
Yeah, I feel like with like girlhood, it's such like a big problem that everybody goes through is like not feeling good in yourself because you don't get that external validation from guys. And it's like, wait, I don't know like how I view myself. With like the long-term relationship, I know that people on like TikTok will be like, you should love yourself first and not have another person love you because if that gets taken away, then you might not love yourself anymore. Do you ever like fear that? Because I know that other people also argue like being in a relationship can help you see yourself that way, and it can help in like even after the relationship, you'll still have that mindset.
I feel like, well, I feel like every relationship is different, so what happens for me will be like really different for other people, but I don't think so at all. Like I think that if my relationship ever ended, I would end up like having grown as a person more than I would have like being harmed. But then again, that also is because it's been like a year and a half. So it's been a lot of time to grow. We haven't had a toxic relationship at all, so like nothing's been taken away from me. So if it ended today, which I don't think it would, but if it ended today, I think that I would feel satisfied that like I've grown as a person and he's helped me grow, as opposed to like I rely on him kind of.
Yeah, I think that's like the difference is like he's like instilling in you like it's like different from somebody telling you rather than like you coming to that conclusion yourself because of somebody else. So I think that's like the difference when people are arguing that. What about comparison? Have you guys ever struggled with that? Well, I feel like everybody does, but like
yes,
what about
so much. I have struggled with comparison, like especially ever since starting high school, just because I always wanted to be like one of those girls that was like, you know, like living her life, just really pretty. And so like not seeing myself there, like especially for the first couple of years of high school, like really led me to compare myself a lot to those people and just like their lives in general.
I think for like us academic tryhards, a comparison nobody talks about is the college apps that you find online and like the amount of anxiety that can cause you seeing what other people have done. My like most toxic thing is that I binge scroll on LinkedIn. And if you've been on LinkedIn,
I remember you saying
yeah, like you know, somebody will be like an astronaut, they cured cancer, they randomly like gave $1 million to starving children, and they're like 13, and I don't know how they do it, like good for them. But I think that like comparison has, like at least in my academic and like college kind of world, I think that it really makes you feel less confident about what you've done and like the importance of what you've done. And I think that's like been a big struggle for me. I'm still trying to get off LinkedIn because it's so horrible.
I think it's like a big deal, especially since we're like at this school.
Yeah.
Like it's really easy to be like, oh, like we're not doing too good and stuff, but you have to realize where you're at the same time. Like, you know, you're not like at a normal high school and stuff, but it definitely can be like really hard to not compare yourself academically.
Yeah, I feel like definitely for me last year, like at the beginning of junior year, I was like, okay, it's like it's stupid to compare yourself because like we're all on our own journeys. And then I started comparing myself, and it was like so easy to be like, would you go on this test? Would you go on that test? And then it's like, oh my god, like I'm doing so bad.
Wait, I actually hate when people ask me that.
Okay, Miss
like,
Ashley.
why do you care?
Yeah, but also I ask people like I hate it, but I also ask.
I
It's just like natural because like I
also
need to
ask
see.
people.
Ari, I remember you saying one time that you were really shocked that you got in a super fast track.
Yeah.
And that you did like bad on your first test, but you decided to just like grind through it and make sure you stayed in the track. Have you always been that type of like person to be like, okay, I'm just gonna do it and like stay determined, or like where do you get that from?
I feel like maybe not, because in middle school I definitely wasn't as much like that. It was more of like a high school thing. But I think like it started with super fast, just like getting back that failing quiz and then feeling like everyone else was smarter than me. I feel like that kind of put like social pressure on me. And at that time I didn't know anything I was capable of. So like seeing what happened when I actually started like trying and studying and doing stuff ahead of time, and seeing how much more I accomplished, I feel like that kind of taught me that like even if I like start off not doing so great, I can still like end up doing better.
Yeah, because I feel like also like you kind of already had that imposter syndrome of like I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And then to get like the physical confirmation of it with that failing test, I feel like it makes it so much harder to push through that.
Yeah, I always used to joke like, oh, I think that like they mixed up my admissions test because there's no way that I belong to be here.
Yeah.
And yeah.
How do you feel that you're like so highly ranked now after not even feeling like you should be in that place?
I feel like I've kind of like adjusted my standard over the years. So like my freshman year, I was just thinking about how I needed to not fail and how I needed to just fit in with these group of like Travis kids who seemed like they had like years on top of me. But I feel like by the time I ended my sophomore year and I realized like if I was working hard, then these were like my peers. These were people on my level. They weren't like so far out of reach. I started like recalibrating what my standard was. So to the point where like ranking, I'm like, if there's people ranked ahead of me, like I'm not doing it good enough.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a toxic mindset.
I know.
But like that's just the way I think now, which is crazy because of how different it is from like the beginning of high school. But
do you have that like academic validation type of mindset?
yeah, definitely.
You definitely do.
Do you, Luisa?
I mean, I feel like I've like in middle school I had it way more, but then like in high school, like being here at a science and engineering school, I got really humbled. So I feel like I've had to lower my standards a little, but yeah, I do like academic validation from my parents.
We were talking about how like beauty and looks is like a huge part of confidence and something we struggled with. I feel like for me, I experience some days where it's like I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of pretty, okay. Do you think that there's a way to stay in that mindset of like I'm pretty 24/7?
This is gonna sound dumb, but like if I ever feel bad about myself, I'll just like look at a picture of a time that I felt like I looked good, and then I'll be like, okay, like if I thought I looked good in that moment, like, and also realizing that like people do not notice if you're having a good day or a bad day.
Right.
Like a day that you think you look your hottest, like maybe they can notice that, but like a day that you think you look good versus a day that you think you look bad, no one's gonna know if you think it's a good day or a bad day. So honestly, just owning that, like knowing that there's no difference, and I don't know, kind of just using that.
I think like deleting social media, like stepping away from it for a second, and like being able to connect more with like reality would just be really helpful in not comparing yourself.
Oh, someone's pulling in next to us.
Wait, like
oh no! Driving scares me.
Wait, actually, I hate when guys drive like
so like quickly.
Yeah, my dad does that. I swear we flip. We've almost.
It's a guy thing. It's not a girl thing.
Yeah, it literally isn't. I drive so peacefully, personally.
No, me too.
I think they have too much confidence in what they can do. I'm like, bro,
like you're not.
Stop.
You're not
NASCAR. Okay, setting boundaries. Do you guys have any advice for that? Like in female friendships and romantic relationships, how have you guys set boundaries?
It makes me uncomfortable for me to like tell people stuff that maybe they don't want to hear, that I don't want to have to say. So that's always been like an issue for me. But I think for friendships just in general, like I've come to realize that like at some point it's gonna get bad. And so you just, if there's something going on, like you need to tell that person, especially if you want to like grow your friendship and, you know, stay friends. I know with Ari, yeah, like I'm honestly really comfortable telling her stuff. I don't have problems setting boundaries.
Wait, that's so good.
Like if I just have a problem, like I'll just tell her. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of chill. But with other people, it can definitely be scary. But I think just like boundary wise, like realizing that if you don't set a boundary, it's gonna get further and then it's not gonna be fun. I think it's really important to just know that and then go from there.
I feel like, okay, being in a relationship, I don't know if other people who like are in a relationship can relate to this, but I always wanted to be like the cool girlfriend, like the chill girlfriend, the one that never gets jealous or never cares about anything. And I tried really hard to do that, but I realized that like if something's happening and it's like breaking your boundaries, especially in your relationship, it gives you like an immense amount of stress and anxiety. And the like, I guess if you're in a toxic relationship, not, but like if you're dating somebody, they actually do care about your mental well-being and how you are. So I feel like it was really hard at first, but kind of realizing that like trying to act like cool girlfriend or whatever should not come above your like standards and your boundaries. Yeah, and realizing that like everyone feels emotions, even people who you would think like are the cool girl. I guess that's so stupid. But like I feel like people like that, they also have issues in their relationship or they have boundaries that they need to set. And like it gets too overbearing if your boundaries are being broken constantly. So I think just like realizing that I literally could not have my boundaries broken has helped me. And then also the person I am in a relationship with is like very respectful of my boundaries. So if I say something once, like he'll never break it. So like people respecting it then is like, oh, all I need to do is speak up about it and then like it fixes itself.
When you first got into your relationship, did you have standards? Wait, were you in a relationship freshman year? Like define like no. Okay.
No.
Okay, I've heard things, but I was like, I didn't know if it was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Did you have like standards before, and then like you already knew your boundaries going in, or was it like, okay, I'm learning this over time?
Honestly, it was like a learning experience. I had never dated anyone before. I think I was always like very like guy friendly. Like
Oh.
like I was never like the kind of person who like wouldn't talk to, or I don't know how to explain it. Like I
Like you
wasn't a
weren't
hoe,
shy
but
around them?
yeah, like
Yeah,
I've never been shy around guys, so I definitely think that like that led to like me like forming connections with people or talking to guys. But I never really like felt too like deeply about any guy, but I really had no idea going in like what it felt like to actually like someone. Luisa remembers.
I do.
I used to like tell her every morning. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I had literally no idea what to do, and a lot of my friends had never been in long-term relationships, so they didn't know what to do either. We were just like, we don't know what to do.
It was also so random.
Yeah, I
like
came
it
out
was
of
like
nowhere.
from one weekend to like another. Like all of a sudden they were hanging out and doing stuff, and I was so happy for you.
Yeah.
It's like exciting, but it's also so
Yeah.
scary because it's like, where do I go? Like this
Yeah,
is like really
like
unfamiliar.
there's actually one cool thing is that one of my really good friends from like middle school, she was also getting into a relationship at like the time. So we were kind of like in parallel with like our like first dates together, and like we both would go and share it. And then another one of my close friends, Tomby.
Oh, okay. So, oh
Yeah,
my God, Tommy.
she was dating Hugo, who was one of Will's who I'm dating, Will's closest friends. And Hugo's also my friend. So we had like a kind of like friend group that I could talk to Tomby about, and we became really close in that time period because we started like understanding each other, and it was new to both of us, so we could like talk about our experiences together.
How would you guys define true friendship?
Wait, this is actually a deep question.
Yeah, we can think about it.
Maybe I think loyalty above anything else. I think a good friendship, like Ari said, when you have a problem, it's like that's a real friend if the problem stays like within those two people and it doesn't go like around a group of people, even if it's just for advice. I think when like once you get there and like once you do that, that's really what I think a true friendship is. And also just being like knowing that you're comfortable around the other person and knowing that like no matter what, like that person won't judge you. And I think, yeah, feeling safe with that person, feeling loved, feeling like you have someone to turn to, like no matter what.
I think like all of what Luisa said, but also something I've realized is like meaningful conversations. Like I've noticed there's some people who whenever I'm with them, the only thing we can seem to talk about is like other people or like what's going on in other people's lives. And those are the kind of friendships I feel like, I mean they're friends, but I don't think they could ever become like a really good friend because I feel like you have to like connect with each other, and if you're just talking about like what's going on like with other people or like external stuff, I feel like it's hard to make like a personal connection with people. So like I mean that could also just be like personalities wise, like who clicks and who doesn't, but I think like meaningful, deeper conversations.
Do you guys know that sound on TikTok that's like, I'm me again?
I've heard
No,
that.
Ari?
I think I've heard
I literally like live under a rock. I know.
Okay. Okay, well, there's like a saying that's like, I'm me again, where it's like, I'm coming back to myself after so long. Have you guys ever experienced that? And what does that look like for you, where you're like, oh, I'm me again?
Yeah. Actually, I really relate this to like my freshman year of high school just because of everything that happened. And I actually wrote about it in my essay how I thought like it felt like as if I had lost myself. I didn't really recognize myself. I didn't know who I was because most of the time I'm like really happy, really bubbly. And then freshman year, it was like that. It was a switch. I was like, I was so depressed. Like, I would cry in the mornings so much. I would make myself sick, like, just like trying to like stop my anxiety and just being so terrified to go into school. So I think from like eighth grade being super happy to freshman year and then back to sophomore and maybe junior year still, I think I did lose myself in the process and I do think I came back from it. But yeah, that was definitely a period of time where I didn't know myself, and I think that's like that scared me even more.
Yeah, I feel like sophomore year, like the beginning, I started off motivated. But then I was still doing club volleyball back then, so my weekends became like fully filled up. I had a bit of like family stuff going on in like the second semester of sophomore year. And I had like a really bad, just like complete loss of motivation and drive. Like my whole life I had been like, I want to go to a top college. I want to like do something big in the world. I want to give back and stuff. And I feel like I completely lost that. Like I had feelings like I don't even care where I end up. And I had never felt like that before in my life. So I think that that was really hard for me. But then junior year, I guess it was kind of just like seeing the people around me, and I got like re-energized by them. So I guess I kind of like became me again, and I like got my socialness back and my drive back. But sophomore year was like rough. I'd just like go home, and the second I got home, I'd take melatonin so that I could like sleep throughout the night. So it was really rough, but yeah, we got through it.
What is you guys' outlets when you're having a bad day?
I feel like for me, talking to a friend that like I know is going to listen to me and like I know is going to help me, because you know those people that like you talk to and they're like, oh yeah, like everything will be okay, like
Yeah.
and they just like kind of gaslight you. Yeah, no. I really like talking to people that like tell you like the truth, like tell you how it is. And then aside from that, I also think that sometimes I'll be having a bad day where I really don't want to talk to anyone until maybe like later that day or another day. So for that time, I really like watching Netflix and eating ice cream.
Over.
I
No,
feel
okay,
like
that's
that's how I
smart.
cope. That really
Yeah.
is how I cope. Like when I'm having a really hard day, or like when I'm really sad about like something that happened at school, or just like academically. Yeah, I'll sit in my room, watch Netflix, and eat ice cream.
Yeah, that's good because like sometimes you're thinking about it too much, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay, at
and you
this
just don't
point,
want to think more
yeah,
about
like
it.
you don't
Yeah.
really need to anymore. So that's a good
Yeah.
coping mechanism. What about
Grey's
you?
Anatomy.
Over.
Um, I feel like for me, just because stuff has gotten so busy, if I'm having a bad day, if I try to like not do my work, it'll just cause me more like anxiety. So I try to make sure that I'm still like doing my work so that I don't feel worse later on. But I think kind of like I like to like daydream. So like daydreaming about myself if I was successful, that is my favorite thing to do. Like I'll imagine myself in a like pink power suit because I want to be that girl. And like going to like yeah, literally legally blonde, like going to a meeting full of guys and like slaying that, like or like making a lot of money or like doing cool things, traveling, being wherever I want to be in life. I definitely think I'm like one of those kind of like dreamer people. So just like sitting down and imagining that and exciting myself about that, that really helps me do my work. And then obviously stuff like going to my friends, or playing with my dogs. My dogs are like my two children. I love them. And then last would probably be like going to my parents because I think that my dad has probably been like a really big support for me throughout high school. Because he's really smart. So he just always like if I have a problem, he gives me a reason why I shouldn't like worry about it.
Yeah.
And then he convinces me and I'm like, okay, wait, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm being silly. So yeah.
What about you, Luisa? Do you have like a form of motivation or like a person that you try to embody?
Ooh, yes, actually. So, for those of you that don't know, I used to live in Mexico, like even after I moved freshman year. That was kind of awkward, but I used to live in Mexico like when I was little. I spent most of my childhood there, and then my parents, along with my little brother and me, immigrated to the US. And I think like as I've grown more as a person and as I've come to understand more like what goes into moving countries, I've learned to appreciate my parents like so much for everything they've done for me, and like I am actually able to see all the sacrifices they've done and all the hard work they have put in for like me and my brother to be here. And so I think that honestly is my biggest motivation even till this day. Like sometimes I'll be really tired, especially with college apps and like scholarships and stuff. But then like just thinking about everything that they did for me, like at some point I want to give all of that back. And I can't do that unless I'm like really, really successful. So that's really like a motivation for me to just like keep going and like get my work done.
Do you feel like you're a different person when you're in Mexico than in the US?
Mm, I think I'm happier when I'm in Mexico. And I don't mean this as like I want to move back because I actually really like my life here. But like when I go over for vacation with my family or when I'm just in Mexico, like in general, like I know this past summer I went to Mexico City and then I went to the beach. I feel just like so much more happy and peaceful. I feel so much more connected to the people there. I feel like they understand like me better. I just feel more connected and happier when I'm in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. What's the biggest way you guys have changed since freshman year? I think we kind of already like talked about it, but are there any other ways that you haven't mentioned?
Um, I think how I treat people is very different. Like I think freshman year, and part of sophomore year, and I've talked to my friends about this and they agree. Um, I think that like I was honestly just meaner. Like I was less like aware of how what I was saying would make other people feel in front of their faces, but then also behind their backs. Like I would be like I would make like a face if I saw something that I thought was like off. Um but I think that like it might just be growing up or maturing a bit more. I kind of just realized like how messed up that is. And that just wasn't like the kind of person I wanted to be. So I feel like I've kind of changed in that way just by like being more aware of how I treat people regardless of if they find out or not. And then I've like made it like a goal to like be kind of like a better person, like be nicer to people.
I feel like for me, I've like matured a lot, especially like guys wise, because like starting out like freshman year and like sophomore and junior, it was honestly kind of messy. Like I didn't like how I was like treating certain people and how certain things played out because of me, and just kind of like recognize that like, how do I say, like if someone likes you, like that shouldn't make you be like, oh, like no, like ew. Like you should be really respectful about the fact that like people have feelings, and like you need to be mindful about that.
What are you guys most excited for and scared for college?
I'm scared about moving away. I actually have like a huge attachment to my family. I'm like a really big family person. So I think moving away, especially since I really have never spent like too much time apart from my mom and dad, I think that's going to be the scariest thing. But at the same time, I'm so excited to like find like freedom, because I don't have a lot of that here, I feel like. I'm very restrained by like my parents' routines and stuff, which it's fine. Like I don't drive or anything, so obviously I'm going to be restrained, but I'm really excited to just like find that new freedom and maybe like find more of myself through that. I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
I think I'm really excited for the same thing that you said. Just like the freedom. Again, I like to like imagine stuff. So like I can imagine myself like going on like a jog in the morning or like going to the library and like studying for a few hours or like going out to dinner with my friends, making my room super cute, like decorating it and stuff. So I think like the actual like what I envision of college, I really like that. But I think like in reality, I want to go to the East Coast, which is going to be very far from my family.
Yeah.
And I think they do play a huge role in my life. So like having to move away from them, um, I think that would be really hard. But I'm still really excited for college.
Yeah, for me, I'm most scared because like how you were saying that every single year you've like grown in a new way. I feel like this like college, I'm scared for like the lessons it's gonna teach me because I feel like it's gonna get painful sometimes, but I'm
And
excited.
you also don't have your family to like hold you up. Because I feel like when a lot of the hard stuff happens, even like throughout high school, you have like a support system or even like friends that you know, teachers that you can talk to, your parents. And I feel like in college, that's like there's not a lot of that, especially not at the start when you're like still adjusting and stuff. So I'm also really scared for that.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing familiar to like cling to
Yeah,
at the
there
start.
really isn't. I mean, some people like move halfway across the country.
Yeah,
And
like
you're
to
like,
like
what's
London.
going on? Yeah.
Are you guys? Do you guys want to study abroad or like go to college in
Oh my god, I want to
London?
do semester at sea. Do you guys know
Oh my
What is
God.
that?
Yeah.
What is that? What is
Wait,
that?
explain that.
Okay, basically, semesters at sea is like a study abroad program, but you're like in a cruise with a bunch of college students. Like it's like 600 college students in this
Wait.
boat, and they just like take you around. Where do you go? You go to like Europe, you go to Africa,
Yeah, you
and
can
like
go,
you
like,
just
in
you
an
literally
insane
go
amount of places.
everywhere. I think it's a whole semester, so it's 4 months, I think. And they just like take you around in the cruise, and like every location you stop on, like they let you get off the boat and like explore for like a couple of days. So, like for those couple of days, like you're on your own, and then you meet people and you like make a whole friend group, and you just go travel the world, and you get to have freedom because like you're not always on the cruise, like you're actually exploring. and it looks so cool. I
Wait,
really
yeah,
want
I'm
to do that.
obsessed. What are 3 words to describe your life right now?
You can start.
Wait, that's so hard.
I know.
Like right now in this moment.
Yeah. Well, not like right now, like car,
like no, yeah,
yeah.
like in this phase of life.
Yeah, in this phase.
Okay. First would be stressful, just because of like
College.
everything going on.
Yeah.
I'm in the bus. I would say like, what's that word when you're like you look back and you're like,
Ooh, nostalgic?
nostalgic / reminiscent, because like this is the end of our childhood. And then fun. I'd say like exciting / fun. Because I feel like this is like the one time, maybe it'll like be more like this after college out. So I feel like this is like the one time that we're gonna get to like have our like final hurrah, and we're gonna like, we're the seniors, we're gonna have like all the senior events. We had senior sunrise, which was awesome. So I feel like it's just like everything we've been waiting for is happening now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal stressful because yeah, it's been really stressful with college apps and the Common App. I have so many supplemental essays to write, and like sometimes I really can't figure out like what to write about. I feel like I have like a writer's block problem. But stressful has definitely been one, but also happy. I feel like right now I'm like at a really happy place, just like because of a lot of things going on. And
See, it's the hardest.
it is the hardest.
Because you can do like a bad one and a good one.
Yeah.
And then what do you do after that?
Did I do a neutral one?
Yeah.
Wait, no, I gotta think about this.
Okay. Do you want me to say mine? And
Yes,
think?
go ahead.
Okay, stressful, yeah. I'm like, we're all gonna say stressful.
I'm glad we all agree
yeah.
on that.
I would say, like, new. Like, I feel like this is, like, a new era for me. Like, way different from junior year. Because I feel like at the start of junior year, it was kind of stressful like this, but I just didn't have the mindset that I have now of, like, how to manage it. So I feel like it's, like, a new version of what I experienced junior year, to where it's, like, okay, I kind of know where to, like, how to move and what habits I need to have. So I feel like new. And third one. Do you have your third one? We can trade.
Guys, I've been like thinking this whole
Okay,
time.
third one.
Stupid. I was like, fine.
I would say fulfilling, low key. Like, I think kind of like entering a new era, it's more fulfilling because wait, what am I saying? I know I'm about to say like fun. I'm about to say fun. I don't know, it just feels fulfilling. I don't really know how to describe it. Like, I mean, there's like hard days, but like starting the podcast again and doing more things that align with like my vision and like things I want to do later on in life, I think that's fulfilling. So yeah.
Wait, I got mine and then I lost. Oh. I got it. Meaningful. I think senior year is about making everything, like making good memories, like making your moments like with people just really meaningful, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Like my final year of high school, I'm trying to like give like a really special meaning to everything and just be able to enjoy all the memories that I am going to make with my friends and that I have already made since I started senior year. So yeah, I'm trying to find a lot of meaning in this year that I can carry with me for like all of my college years.
Okay, I actually have one more question. So you said that this is like our last hurrah. And do you think that like in middle school we kind of all had a vision of like how high school would be? Would you say it's lived up to that, or like been lower or higher than what you expected?
I would just say it's been wildly different. I didn't really expect to change as much throughout high school. I kind of thought, I think when you like go into something, you think, especially since it was a new place, I knew no one except for my sister. I feel like I kind of went in thinking, okay, my big change is gonna be I'm gonna like change my personality freshman year.
Like speak a different language.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wait. No, but like okay, not that.
No, like when I came to when I was coming to SEM, I was like, wait, what if I like put on a British accent? And
No,
just, like...
that's hilarious. I actually like that one.
Okay, but what were you saying?
But I feel like when you go to a new place, you feel so like empowered that like I can change myself just the second I walk in there. You can't though. And I feel like the change that happens is very like gradual over high school. So the kind of person that I thought that I was going to be the second I walked in there, I wasn't, but I think that throughout high school I've grown into an even bigger person. Like if I told my past self the kind of things that I've accomplished, but then also like the kind of friendships I'm in, the relationship I'm in. Like I don't think I ever could have even like thought of something this complex and this like fulfilling. So I would say it exceeded it, but it's also just like wildly different from whatever I thought I wanted.
Yeah, I think I kind of have like the same thing as Ari. Like, I thought I was going to be so different in high school. Like, I thought I was going to change like that. Like, I was going to be all of a sudden like this really cool, like grown up girl. And that just like not didn't happen. Like, I did change in a lot of different ways. Like, I've said, like confidence wise and stuff. But like, being like a drastic change, I feel like that never really happened. I feel like sometimes I still feel like I'm like a little like girl. Like I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm going to college. You know, it feels kind of weird. Like it hasn't hit me that like I'm going to college and that like I'm starting an adult life. And so, but like high school, I think it exceeded my expectations. I never thought I would find like this much joy in being in school, especially since my middle school experience wasn't like too good. But I think just like everything that I've had here, like all of my friendships, my friend groups, like my teachers, like, and the school itself, it's just made me like so happy. It's definitely exceeded my expectations, and I love being here so much.
Mm-hmm. This girl loves this school.
Guys, I really do. Guys, I like this school. Wait, that's gonna sound so nerdy.
No, it's okay.
It's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my STEM magnet.
Wait, actually,
no. I totally
like the classes itself are actually like they make me cry.
Yeah, it's like
but
painful, but it's good.
I'm talking like community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like my people, like my community, all of that.
Okay, that's all. Do you guys have any last thoughts?
If you're a senior watching this, make sure you enjoy your last year because it's gonna be so amazing. And please go to all the events.
Okay, have a great day, guys.
Yay!